So, right after the US launched military strikes against Iran, President Trump dropped a video message. And on the surface, okay, it looks like a single statement. But when you really dig into it, you realize it's actually two completely different messages, aimed at two completely different groups of people, all packed into one video. Let's get into it.
Right. This is the whole puzzle of the thing. It wasn't just one message, it was two, delivered at the exact same time. And, this was no accident. It was a really deliberate strategy to talk to both the people in Iran and the American public about the same conflict, but in totally different terms. Understanding this split is everything.
Okay, so first things first, let's just set this stage a little. Before we can unpack the messages, we gotta know the basics: who, what, where, and when. So, what are we talking about? A video message from the president, posted directly to his Truth Social account. The timing here is absolutely critical. It came out right after the US began military strikes in Iran. But the most important part for us, the part we're really going to focus on, is the who. This message wasn't for just one audience. It was carefully split between two very distinct groups. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How can one video possibly hold two different messages? And maybe more importantly, why would you even do that? Let's take them one by one. So the first of these messages, well, it wasn't even for Americans. Nope. It was a direct appeal to the people of Iran, basically speaking right over the heads of their own government. And that is such a powerful move, especially in the middle of a conflict. You're completely bypassing the government you're in conflict with and talking right to their citizens. It's a classic tactic to try and drive a wedge between the people and their leaders. And the message itself? Wow, it was incredibly direct. The president was basically urging the Iranian people to, and I'm quoting here, seize control of your government. This wasn't just some vague hint. It was an attempt to frame the whole US military action not as an invasion, but as an opportunity, a window for the Iranian people to make a change themselves. But then, in that exact same video, the entire tone just flips. The message pivots away from inspiring an uprising abroad and turns into this very somber warning for the audience back home, the American people. So while the message to Iran was all about empowerment, opportunity, and change, the one for the domestic audience was completely different. It was about managing expectations and really preparing the country for what might be coming down the line. And this was the heart of that warning. The president said very plainly that, quote, American lives may be lost. I mean, that is a stark phrase to hear from your leader. It's a direct effort to get the American public ready for the potential human cost of this conflict. All right, so let's put these two very different threads together. You've got a call for revolution on one hand and a warning about sacrifice on the other, delivered in the same breath. This is where you can really start to see the bigger communication strategy taking shape. This is what moves us from just what was said to why it was said. I mean, what's the strategic goal here? Why would you pair a message of hope and liberation for another country with a message of potential loss and sacrifice for your own? And the contrast is just so clear. For Iran, the message is about opportunity, liberation, seizing political power. But for America, it's about cost, consequence, and sacrifice. You've got two completely different narratives being built around the exact same military event. So it's pretty obvious, right? This wasn't a mixed-up message. It was a split message. It was a carefully tailored strategy. The goal was to try and inspire regime change abroad, while at the same time managing expectations and preparing for sacrifice at home. Two very different objectives, all wrapped up in a single video. And that really is the thought to leave you with. When a world leader frames a war as an act of liberation for the other side, while at the very same time warning their own citizens to brace for casualties, what does that tell you? It just raises these huge questions about the real scale and the intended length of the conflict, and it's going to shape how the entire world sees what happens next.